You're listening to Short Inspirations from Ralph. Change, Part 3. So what are the unforced rhythms of grace that we talked about in the last episode? What are the steps, the movements that we can learn to help us get unstuck, to help us learn to change? I want to quickly point out 4 from Psalm 51 over the next few episodes. The first one is recognition. Psalm 51 begins with some pretty direct and frank language about David's sin. You've got to remember that he committed adultery, slept with someone else's wife, got her pregnant, and then he killed her husband. And he writes, "I know my transgression, and my sin is always before me." Not just sometimes or every once in a while, it's always before me, he said. He doesn't try to sidestep what is really going on in his life. He gets real. He gets honest. Most of us have this instinctive need to cover up, to ignore, to hide away, to dismiss as unimportant our sin. We think that would be the most effective and safe way to deal with it. Or even worse, we blame someone or something else. This is an epidemic in our world, to blame the system, to blame the oppressors, to blame parents or some other person or my family of origin. Everyone except me are to blame. But Psalm 51 recalibrates us, reorientates us to this first step, the first movement in the dance of grace. This is not sin avoidance, it is sin recognition. Because we cannot get unstuck by trying harder to avoid sin. I want to say that again. We cannot get unstuck just by trying harder to avoid sin. We start by naming it. God, I am struggling with addiction, or I'm struggling with impulsive behavior, or I'm struggling with deceiving others to get my way or protect my interests. I'm struggling with anger, my ego, my pride, my ambition at the expense of others. And without this first step, we miss out on what is next. We can't enter the dance, the rhythms of grace, without this. We would like to do this last, we would like to do this later, but this is the very first step. You know, there is a place here for confessing your sin to another person. It's scriptural to do that. However, be careful of this, that you don't go telling everyone around you about what's going on. But find trusted people, even better, find a trusted person to bring out what's going on in your life. Sometimes we get a bit embarrassed at bringing stuff to God. But why? Because God knows all about it anyway. He just needs us to reveal it. It's the first step in healing and in forgiveness and in progress, and it's the first step in bringing genuine change into our lives. And the beautiful thing about this recognition, and as we name what we're facing, it leads right into the second step. And I'm going to talk about that in the next episode. God bless you.